I know most of you guys have been there before. Most of you guys can relate to this point. In a conversation with a girl, maybe she's your girlfriend, your co-worker, or your wife perhaps. And it just starts slowly. Everything starts little by little. She interrupts you, twists your words, gets louder or even sarcastic. And before you know it, you're defending yourself, explaining things that you never did. Most men, when they're in this situation, they handle this in two ways. The first category of man, he tries to defend himself, he tries to come off defensive. And the second category of men, they try to keep silent in order to avoid conflict. But these two options, these two way of handling conflict, it makes you lose your ground. The first option makes you look unstable, and the second option makes you look weak. But there's this third option. This one is quiet, confident, and commanding. That is the way you handle an aggressive woman, not by shouting louder, but by being one thing she could never move, and that is being unshakable. That is what we'll be talking about in this video. So are you ready? Because I am. Let's break exactly how to do that. Hi guys, Official Ma here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this YouTube channel, we'll talk about men's relationship and how to get you your dream girl. If you know this kind of content interests you, please hit the subscribe button down below, and without going down, let's proceed to the video. Number 1, recognize when she's testing you. Like I always say in all my videos or in most of my videos, the first way to solve a problem is by knowing that problem. If you don't know a problem, it's very difficult or even impossible to solve that problem. And how do you do that? I'll be telling you the keywords that you have to look out for, because most times aggression doesn't start full-blown. It starts little by little. She might say things like, you always think you're right. She might say that, oh, that's how men behave. You're behaving like a typical man. She might even niche down to start criticizing your tribe. Saying things like, oh, that's how Igbo men behave, or that's how your country of origin, or even your race. She might say things like, oh, that's how black men behave. Typical sarcastic words. And these aren't just words. These are invitation for you to lose control. Most typical men, definitely, they will buy into that and they lose control. They start trying to defend themselves. They start trying to be defensive or even aggressive. But a strong man, a man who is grounded, doesn't fall for this trap. He recognizes what is happening and always tries to stay composed. When she starts throwing shades, you don't flinch. When she's trying to challenge you, you don't explain yourself. When you're doing that, it tells her one thing, that you can show all the emotions and I won't break. That is your first display of power. Number 2, don't fall for the so you're saying trap. Most aggressive women are often sharp communicators. They know how to twist words. They know how to twist your words out of context. For example, you can say something like, oh, I think that men and women handle conflicts differently. You might say something like, I think that men and women should try to be accountable when conflict happens. She might flip the script and say something like, oh, so are you trying to say that I'm always defensive? This is the so you're saying trap. You might say something like, I think men and women handle stress differently. And she flips the script and says something like, oh, so you're trying to say that women are weak. And I'm just trying to use subtle examples. There might be some, really tough scenarios that might be going on in your daily lives. So you understand the so you're saying trap. Most men, they try to start being defensive, or they get angry all together. The move here is simple. Don't defend. Don't backtrack. Don't explain. Simply just look at her, say calmly and firmly, that is not what I said. Listen carefully. You repeat yourself depending on the context of what you said. It shows her that emotional manipulation doesn't work on you. And every single time, clarity always commands respect. Number 3, expose the guilt trap. Sometimes women use guilt, or sometimes women use victim blaming to manipulate you. The most dangerous aggression most times isn't loud. Rather, it comes in words like this. She says things like, why are you always acting like I'm the problem? Or you can hear things like, why can't you just admit that I'm right this time around? Or you can also hear things like, you don't care about how I feel anymore. Or why do you always make everything seem like my fault? When you hear this kind of words, most times they are victim blaming. But before that, you should also try to evaluate yourself and also check from the other person's point of view. If you're the kind of person that's always dismissed their own feelings. But when you see that they're trying to use it as victim blaming, or she's trying to use guilt to trap you, you can say something like, hold on, are you trying to ask me something? Or you're trying to accuse me of something. And when you say this, she immediately realizes that she's not talking to a boy, but she's talking to a man who wouldn't be controlled by emotions. Number 4, always stay composed, not defensive. There's a difference between weak calmness and strong composure, and the difference here is the intent. A pushover stays calm to avoid conflicts, while a strong man stays calm because he's in control. Here's the keyword: intent. Your goal here is not to keep the peace, but to maintain control in the interaction. Number 5, lead the frame and don't defend it. The person that controls the frame of an interaction controls the outcome of that conversation. That is why it's very important for you to lead the frame, lead the conversation. When she starts being emotional, if you're trying to explain yourself, you're giving her the frame. She's the one leading the frame. When you're trying to start explaining yourself, talking too much, saying the reason why this happened or that happened, and when she leads the frame, she determines the outcome of the conversation. You can say things like, let's talk like adults, or you can say, when you're calm, then we can talk. If you're calm, then I will listen. Or you can say things like, I'm not here to argue with you. I'm not here for arguments. I'm here to actually understand what you're trying to say. And when you use each of those lines, it shows leadership without aggression. It shows her that you set the tone and you lead the dynamic. Number 6, let her realize. Let her come to a realization. Don't tell her. Most times when you try to be calm, when you try to be composed in arguments, when you try to be like calm in chaos, it's just like showing her a mirror and she sees her reflection. That is the difference between your calm and her chaos. At the end of the day, she's ashamed of herself. Like, trust me, she's ashamed of herself. Like, and her conscience starts pricking her because she's not proud of herself. She becomes ashamed of herself, ashamed of her actions. And that's hurts when she sees herself in that mirror, when she sees her reflection through your calm. It hurts her pride for that moment, but it awakens her respect forever. She'll always hold you up to here. She'll always hold you up to a very high pedestal. And then she'll say something like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have talked to you like that, or I shouldn't have behaved the way I behaved earlier today or earlier this morning. And when she apologizes, handle that apology like a boss. Don't start saying things like, oh, I told you. Don't start rubbing it all over the person's face or saying, oh, I know you're going to apologize, or I told you, or something like that. Instead, you can say something like, just one line. It's fine, I've heard you, but just don't talk to me like that again. Short, firm, final. You don't have to do too much. To humble an aggressive woman doesn't mean that you have to humiliate her. Apart from that, is staying composed until she humbles herself. Let silence do the talking. We've come to the end of this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give this video a very big thumbs up, and please also don't fail to smash the subscribe button to see more content like this from this channel. See you guys in my next video. Cheers.